Hey, hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Mark. How's getting on today? Now, I hope you are strapped in, you've got your snacks, because this episode is about to start very, very quickly. A lot has changed since last episode, and I mean a lot. There's so much to show you, I've actually had to write like a 10-point checklist to just be like, don't forget this, or this, or that, or this. Some of it's been good, like actually getting the trident completed. Some of it's been not so good, and when I say not so good, I mean this. I spawned in a chunk error 16 blocks under my base, and I suffocated. But I'm gonna run you through everything. We're gonna get you caught back up. And then by the time we're finished, you'll know what's going on. You'll see everything that I've done off camera. And we'll be ready to begin building exceptional stuff. Does that sound good? Because we think it sounds great. Let's just try and ignore the fact that it's raining. The trident is now done, like you did just see in the intro. I think it turned out pretty much how I wanted it to. Maybe the spiral at the top could be a little bit tighter, but I do think that it looks very magical. I could have some cool old world magic flowing through it. Now, yes, it took me 3 episodes and the payoff is almost absolutely not worth it. However, I do think it looks really, really cool. And from where you can actually see it in the base, which actually, when it's not raining, is quite a long way, I think it's gonna look class. Now, just seeing as we are over here anyway, as hopefully it will render in, you can see we now do have the you can't see any of them. That is such a shame. We now have the beacons. You can see the red glass there. You can see the light blue glass there. We do have all 4 beacons in at our underwater base. When I say all 4, I clearly mean all 5. I meant all 4 additional ones. It's very early in the morning. Stop bullying me. So that clip of the chunk error was actually 8 seconds, and I wasn't recording at the time. I was just hanging out. I was just getting ready to actually just continue building stuff that you will see in just a wee second. I logged out because I had to do something very quickly. And then when I spawned back in, I was just 16 feet under the ground. And unfortunately, that's not low enough down to hit my mine. And I died. You can see I'm only level 7. I was 55 or 56 at the time of me dying. I just couldn't get out. I didn't have rockets on my hotbar. I didn't have a spade on my hotbar. So unfortunately, there isn't actually audio for it because I properly was panicking. But then at the very last second, I managed to regain myself. So I switched to putting rockets in my hotbar so I could just try and fly through the ground. And as I put them in the hotbar, they teleported straight back up into my inventory. Which basically means I couldn't have survived even if I wanted to. But unless there's something I'm missing, I haven't lost any stuff. I managed to get everything back. So it is definitely not as bad as it could have been. But then that's not where that story actually ends. So I ended up going to look for a jungle because I wanted to do something really cool with the outside of my base. And just a little sneak peek here, you can see we have a lot of foliage. I think it looks quite cool, so it was justified. However, it's a pretty big however. As you can see from this screenshot, and yeah, I'm not moving, there's no particles, this is literally just a screenshot. I had to go 50,000 blocks away from my base. Now, I'm assuming there probably is a jungle nearby. That's really, really annoying. And we're back. Now, where was I? I'm assuming there is a closer jungle. There is one further nearby. Further nearby? There is one closer by. But I just went positive X coordinates. And the nearest one in that cardinal direction was 50,000 blocks away. So when I came home, I hadn't slept. I didn't think about it. So when I died in the chunk error, I spawned about 30,000 blocks away from my house because I had slept on my journey there. So then I had to break the bed and it was fine. And I drowned myself. So I'm now up to 3 deaths on the server. That's really annoying. 2 of them aren't my fault. 1 of them I had to because I couldn't just jog home 30,000 blocks. No tricks, just treats. That's quite cute. That's really funny. Yo, Rizzy and or Mizzy, thank you very much for the treats. Anyway, so if you remember back to episode 1, spawn isn't actually 0-0. You spawn about 300 blocks away. And I had no stuff. And it was nighttime. So I then have to try and scale the mountain back to the shopping district. Which you would think is, woo, we've made it. You'd be wrong. People had been building in the shopping district all day and hadn't properly lit it up yet. So very much like that clip from the other week when there was a zombie apocalypse because people hadn't lit up their builds. That happened again, except I couldn't fight back in any way, shape, or form. I did manage to survive though, and I still actually only have the 3 deaths. I just managed to make it back to the base, and I found all my stuff. So it is a happy ending, but I was just trying to plant some trees and make my base look all homely, and I just did not need that kind of stress. Alright, we're back on the roof, and something I did just completely just gloss over. I have decided to forego having a roof and just put in like a little balcony. Now, it can be spruced up, it can be made made to look a lot fancier. But I like the idea of being able to look out and seeing the beacon, seeing Alejandro in his nice new diamond armor, being able to see our nice new foliage, which you will see in just a wee second. Yeet. I like being able to see the nether portal, partially being able to see the trident. And then once the ring's done, and when it's not raining, and when it's not nighttime, we'll be able to see that properly. So I went with a balcony. It's also because now you can't be like, you've forgotten to put a roof on your house. We're not getting a roof. Let me live my life. See, I told you we had a lot to film today because there's still more stuff on my list. Can you actually believe it? But honestly, look at him. Oh, what a majestic boy. The white horse with a light blue diamond armor is just lovely. It's just delightful. So now you might have been seeing it in passing, and I have kind of mentioned it, so now we are properly going to give you the actual tour of what I have been up to as well. I have been texturing the actual pyramid itself. We have vines, cracked blocks, mossy, we've got the leaves. I think it now looks quite old. There's a sheep on my... Do these sheep just not have any respect? Honestly. We've got the cracked. It now looks old. It looks mossy. It looks a little bit ancient. There is just a little bit more vibe to it. It looks a lot more like it actually belongs here, and I can hear phantoms. And there he is. No jump scare this time, big boy. But then also here, I have decided to go for a lovely little canopy on top. It rains so much, you can actually stop the rain with... Or did the rain just stop? Well, the rain just stopped, so I mean, there you go. That's some kind of magic. I really like the look of this. I think this looks lovely. We have an actual really nice canopy, having the one jungle tree. It kind of looks like it mixes in with the actual lower down branches. We have the gap here, so you can still see the fountain. I am using jack-o'-lanterns with some green carpet on top to give the area some more hidden, natural kind of lighting. The lanterns can only do so much, and these above-ground jack-o'-lanterns will be disappearing once spooky season is over. Now, I can obviously build on this. We can have other stuff on the mountain there. Other builds can go here. I've stretched this out just in case we do want to create other stuff. I don't know what yet, but the vibes around here are immaculate. Just walking through here is exactly how I pictured it. It's about as close as I can replicate to my morning jaunt to get coffee. I think it's turned out really well. It's such a simple little thing. I think that looks immaculate. I think that looks really, really cool. And then over here, I just had a little bit of water. We have my standard daylight sensor street lights. They look simple, but they get the job done. I am really, really happy with how this actually turned out. I'm super proud. Now that I think I've done that, there is only two other things that I need to show you, and one actually leads into the other, which means even now know we're probably halfway through the episode. It's time to start the episode. But it actually starts with a mystery, and I'm not talking about our secret project. I mean, I'm talking about I don't know what's happening. So as you can see down here, there's a chest by the bed, and then there's a sign here. Now this sign is the coordinates and the one diamond block that I mentioned in last episode to keep this little secret thing going for whoever built the doorbell. However, in this chest, there's 3 diamonds. But when I came on yesterday with no intention of filming, because I assumed everything would be exactly where it was when I came back on to film, this sign wasn't here, but there was a sign on this chest. I want to hop on the trend and throw diamonds at you as well. So I think someone stole that sign to create their own sign, so whoever's doing the doorbell is not the person who put the diamonds in that chip. A lot's happening. People are just throwing diamonds at me. I'm completely okay with it, and I'm gonna go bury this chest. So as you can see from the top left, I'm here. It's taken me about 10 minutes to fly here. I honestly don't even know if I have enough rockets to make it home. And I get here, and there's a sign that says, no, not here, at your base. And I don't know what that means. Am I just meant to leave a diamond block at my base, and someone will come and pick it up? Who is this? Where do they want me to leave it? I'm honestly really tempted to just leave it here, delete that sign, and just say yes here. So I have decided I'm not gonna leave it here. Because unlike whoever's doing this, I'm not a terrible human being. Whoever is doing this and whoever is putting in the doorbell and is wanting this payment, you will find it on top of the jungle tree. That's where I'm gonna leave it. Come get it and stop trolling me with note blocks. Right, there we are. For Mr. and Mrs. Doorbell person. There we are. Come get your payment. Now we are completely caught up. We did catch up about 3 hours ago, and since then I've been busy, which means there's now a lot more to catch up on again. There's not a lot. There's a couple things. So how would you like to find out what I've been up to? The water buckets are a hint. So just for starters, on all 4 of these bridges, you can see over there, and you can just take my word for it there. You can actually kind of see it through the crystal. That is going to be the starting point for the floating ring. I will build up a certain amount of blocks, and then that's where where we will place the outer middle block. We'll work our way from there. But when I say that I've been working for about 3 hours, I haven't just been placing 4 bits of bamboo and putting my feet up. I have been digging ourselves a little river. Here we have a little breach in the wall. It's gonna flow down. It's eroded away the dirt. Shout out to my A in higher geography. It's gonna flow down the cliff here. It's gonna meander its way back in, and then it's gonna breach back out there. So all in all, I think that's gonna look pretty cool. Next up, obviously, is placing the just tedious amounts of water. As far as I can tell, I think you can use kelp to create source blocks, and that's a way easier way to do it than just placing bucket after bucket. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. You will see that when it's done, and then after that, we will move on to starting the ring. However, I need to take a quick trip to the shopping district because I have some requests to be making. So cue the transition. So I have 2 requests to be making, and they both just happen to be in the Foxy Shack, the Cozy Foxy Shacky Dacky, whatever this place is called. All I remember is that it rhymes. So first things first, I want 2 foxes, and I will pay 2 diamonds to have them delivered to my house. Obviously, as well as the 50 iron to go along with it. Hello, rhodium. But then after that, I do have a special request, and it is very cheeky, and it's probably not the easiest thing to do in the world. And to be completely frank, I don't even know if it is possible. And the reason I'm going to request it is because I know for a fact I wouldn't be able to do it myself. So let me get it written down, and you can see just how demanding I can be. Again, Nintendo, if you are watching, I know this is ludicrous, and you will read this, but this is mainly just, you know. So I changed it so it says 2 foxes, home delivery, 50 iron for the foxes, 3 diamonds for the delivery fees. I have upped it from 2 because transport is really annoying, and I really want my foxes, so I really hope he agrees. I've just closed the door. Then a very special request for anything you want. Blocks of diamonds, a beacon, a personal IOU from me for whatever he can imagine. I'll build him something. If he can somehow get 2 pandas to my house. I have no idea how he will possibly do that. I honestly don't even know if it is possible. However, I really want 2 pandas. I really do. So that's my request out of the way. Let's go build a river. So how about actually before we go and make a river, we'll have a quick look around here and we'll see if anything's new, because that definitely wasn't here before. What is it? It's exactly where Screen's shop was, and it doesn't have a back. Pay here, pay here. Is there any kind of sign? I'm in a hole. Interesting. The floor squidges. I'll be honest, I don't like my feet squelching. It makes me kind of go, bleh. You know what I mean? Oh, emeralds is 1 down per 2 stacks. Total of diamonds is 1 okay, so this is from their raid farm. Wow, it's a pretty good raid farm. My goodness. Anyway, let's go build a river, shall we? There we have our river. I will take you to see it in a second. This is just the first overview. It could possibly have used more shape. Annoyingly, though, this little section here would be where I put it, but that's where the beacon is, so it would have had to have come this way, and then that's higher up terrain. I don't think it looks bad at all. I wanted it to be very much off-center, because if we do end up over here making it desert, I did want it to be like a 70-30 split. I feel like I have definitely said that at some point. However, me being me, I cannot remember. Now, I don't know if we will be doing the desert, and that will be down to the fact, now that we are putting in the ring up here, if it's a 70-30 split of grass and in desert over there, then obviously the ring would have to have deserty bits to it as well. Then you get the annoyance of having to use sandstone and have the sand up there, and it wouldn't be the end of the world, but I just think it would be a lot harder to do with the actual ring itself. So for now, I think we will be leaving it as grass and dirt. So here is the actual river itself. I used kelp to make everything source blocks. I added in the sea lanterns because something that I didn't quite think about, the second the water went in, I had hordes upon hordes of drowned spawn, because technically this is just an ocean biome, isn't it? So they spawn like nothing on Earth. You get lots of fish spawning in. You get dolphins. It's a nightmare. And I do foresee it being a problem in the future, but for now, everything is fine, so I really don't care. I think it looks exactly how I wanted it to. If anything, actually better. There is a very slight curvature to it. I think it looks relatively natural. It obviously could be better. I'm not saying it's the be-all, end-all of Minecraft rivers. I'm not saying it looks like exactly how you would find something in real life. But then again, look around this whole base. You wouldn't see any of this in real life, so kind of give me some leeway. Now! I'm assuming I just said the word now weirdly. It sounded very weird in my head. Now what comes next? Tell you what, I think I'm going to put in the first layer of the next ring. For anyone who cares, this ring is currently a 101 by 101. So I've looked into it. I've had a few prototypes. The one that I picked, I then got a second opinion on, and it was the right move. So we're going to be moving in to a 75 by 75 circle. I already have the plan for it. I already know how to make it. I'm now underwater. It is now just a case of actually doing it. So I will see you in just a wee second when it's in. That fish just Fosbury flopped. I wonder if he hit a new high jump record. So the first ring is in, and I think we made the right decision. I think we picked the right one. I think that'll look really good when it's all fleshed out. This is what it will look like. This is the height that I went for. So basically, it goes 13 in from there. So I decided to make it 13 high. I figured that pretty much makes sense. Give or take. Now it needs to be fleshed out. Now we need to add to it. That is the harder part. That is the monotonous bit, but it will look really cool and rewarding afterwards. So I'm not entirely sure if that's what I'm going to do next, or if I have other things to be doing. I also have no idea how long this episode is. So I'm going to go edit it right this second, and you can have a look down at the time. We're either about to outro, or we're about to find something else to do. Who knows? So as you could probably guess, we are getting ready to wrap up. We've actually got a crazy amount done today. Well, actually, I got quite a lot done off camera, and then there was a lot to catch up on, but I think it's been a really good episode. Hopefully off camera, I will be able to get some work done, so then when I start recording next time, you will have more of an idea of what the ring will look like. That's kind of my plan anyway. Let's actually just see if that can happen. Just before we do wrap up though, however, I have managed to do one final project for the episode. Alejandro now has a home. He's now loving life in his lovely little stable. I accidentally dug this up. It'll be grass, and then I'll make it pathway as soon as I can. Don't fight me. But he's got this lovely little stable. I went with the blue wood just because he has the blue armor, and I think it actually goes quite well. It's quite a nice color break, but it's not too far away from the actual green. I think it really suits this little forest really well, actually. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave a like. They help get my videos noticed. They make me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. I know you've really liked the videos, so it's a win-win-win. And really, what more could you ask for? You can also subscribe to the channel completely for free. It's also quite nice because if you do decide you hate me, you can easily unsubscribe. However, have you not seen what I'm doing? Look at everything I'm building. You won't regret your decision. So having said that, and with that being said, I hope you stay out of trouble, you don't do anything I wouldn't do, and I'll see yous laters.